statement and now give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Deputy Special Coordinator Al-Akbarah, for your briefing. It was good to spend time with you late last year. Welcome to our colleagues, Your Excellencies of Foreign Ministers from Greece and Liberia. I think first and foremost, we should truly take heart that Ron Gavili's remains have finally returned to his family, who have suffered through unthinkable hardship for far too long. His funeral was today, and we hope his return brings a measure of solace and closure for the family that I also had the honor to spend some time with. And I think we all hope the remains of all the deceased are returned to their loved ones, those that were killed in this horrible war started by Hamas, so that these families can have some type of closure and peace. Colleagues, for the first time since 2014, in over a decade, Hamas and its terrorist affiliates no longer hold any hostages in Gaza. That's extraordinary, and we should take note of it. And I hope all those who claimed Hamas didn't know the locations of every hostage understand, frankly, their error. It is only due to the relentless efforts of the Israeli people and government, the tireless work of President Trump, his special envoys, Witkoff and Kushner, and the strong pressure put on Hamas, brought to bear by not only the United States, but our partners in the region, that all the hostages have at last returned home, and we could take those yellow ribbons off our lapels. Colleagues, on January 16th, President Trump celebrated the formation of the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza. For the first time since 2007, the people of Gaza who desperately want peace, and they want peace and not Hamas, its supporters or its enablers, they have an opportunity to chart a peaceful future for the Gaza Strip. We are grateful, deeply grateful, for Dr. Ali Sheikh's leadership of the National Committee and for our partnership with those serving alongside him to restore public services, to rebuild civil institutions, and to stabilize daily life in Gaza. Last week in Davos, President Trump announced the Board of Peace, and with it, the transition to phase 2 of the 20-point plan, both of which were established and endorsed by this committee in Resolution 2803. The results of phase 1 speak for themselves. A ceasefire that the entire world were begging for and demanding. Humanitarian aid that was so desperately needed. And the release and return of all hostages to their families. Phase 2 will advance the full demilitarization and reconstruction of Gaza in line with the President's plan and with Security Council Resolution 2803. On behalf of the United States, I would like to thank all those that have committed to joining the Board of Peace, especially fellow council members Bahrain and Pakistan. Under President Trump's chairmanship, the Board of Peace is acting and not just talking. With the President's vision and tenacity, the Board will help realize a new Gaza and a break from this decades-old cycle of violence. We realize it's unconventional. Change makes some uncomfortable. But with this innovative approach, we are leaving behind decades of wasted time, wasted money, and wasted chances for peace. And we are already seeing results. With the cooperation and assistance of Israel and our Board of Peace partners, over 55,000 trucks have entered Gaza. bringing food, shelter, and medicine since the ceasefire began. Over 1.3 million people have received food assistance in December. We welcomed the reopening of Allenby Gate and King Hussein Bridge, the crossing between Israel and Jordan, and we welcome the full reopening of the Rafah border crossing, which will expedite the flow of medical evacuations. But we must take care. Assistance cannot devolve into dependence, and with support from the High Representative for Gaza, Nikolai Mladinov, the National Committee will restore essential services throughout Gaza and foster an economy where opportunity replaces unemployment and dependence. But before we can reach this goal, Hamas and other militant groups must lay down their arms. Point 1 of the President's 20-point plan is that Gaza will be a de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. They must live up to their end of the bargain. Point 2 is that Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered for far too long and for more than enough. Only de-radicalization, only disarmament, only demilitarization will bring Gaza prosperity and stability, and we, along with our partners on the Board of Peace and in consultation with the National Committee, will apply pressure to Hamas to honor its commitment and to disarm. Hamas must not have any role in the governance of Gaza directly or indirectly in any form, period. All military, terror, and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not rebuilt. International, independent monitors will supervise a process of demilitarization of Gaza to include placing weapons permanently beyond use through an agreed process of decommissioning and supported by an internationally funded buyback and reintegration program. New Gaza will be fully committed to building a prosperous economy and a peaceful coexistence with its neighbors. We salute and thank our friends who have agreed to contribute to the International Stabilization Force. Under the leadership of Major General Jasper Jeffers of the United States Army, the ISF will begin to establish control and stability so that the Israeli Defense Forces can withdraw from Gaza based on standards, milestones, and timeframes linked to demilitarization. These will be agreed upon between the IDF, the ISF, the guarantors, and the United States with an objective of a secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to its neighbors or its citizens. Colleagues, the United States remains fully committed to working in close partnership with Israel, with key Arab and Muslim majority nations, and with the international community to bring the peace, the prosperity, and the security and dignity to the region that its people deserve. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the United States for his statement and now give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.